Fantastic. And let's let everybody in. Hi, everyone. Let's get everybody into the room right now. All right. Hey, everyone. As everybody's coming into the room, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining me. It's Walt with you. Thanks, everyone, as they're coming into the room. Once you've got me, once you've got audio, once you can see and hear me, just type in the chat box, say hi, and we'll get underway. So who can see me, who can hear me? Everybody make sure that type in the chat box and just say hello, so I can see that we've got a live event there ready to rock. And everybody can see and hear. Dawn says hi, great. Gaynor says hi, fantastic. Everybody's coming in, we're good. All right, this is great news. All right, fantastic. A couple more people just coming into the room there, so every now and again, I'll just click on admit and get everybody in. Thanks so much for joining me. So we're going to be running through Thrivecart, and great to see some familiar faces here, some friends, some Agency Bud customers, which is fantastic, and some long-term customers as well. Amazing to have you guys with us all here as well. So I'm going to be running through Thrivecart. If you have already got Thrivecart, that's fantastic. If not, you can see the link on the screen there. And every now and again, because I'm playing with something fun, I'm going to do like this and just pop a lower third up, which is very cool. And you'll be able to head over and grab it. Today is a training session. So we're going to be very technical in the things that we're covering. Yes, we are recording it, and we'll make that recording around as well. So Gaynor says, I've never seen anyone do a Thrivecart demo. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to jump straight into that. And that's exactly what we're here for. So this is literally all training. We're going to be talking through the software platform itself. We're going to be showing you how to set up buy buttons. We're going to be showing you how to set up subscription payments, affiliate programs, tracking links, all of that kind of good stuff that you can do on Thrivecart. And I would love to know what you guys specifically are looking for out of the program. So drop in the chat box and just let me know, what was it that made you grab Thrivecart? Dawn, I know, has had Thrivecart for a long time and is a very experienced user of the program. So I'd love to hear from Dawn what you love about it as well. I'll certainly be talking about that during the call. So why did you pick up Thrivecart, or why are you looking at Thrivecart? What is it that you're looking for in your online business, and specifically with the Thrivecart? I've got some things that I'll be covering. So on my agenda, I'm going to be talking about different payment processes that you can add in. I'm going to be talking about connecting up your autoresponders to make sure that you've got people being added to your list when they're making a purchase. I'm going to be talking about the integration with Zapier, and how you can use the integrations with Zapier to trigger lots of different things, including crazy stuff like being able to send out coffee cups and t-shirts when people make purchases from you. I'm going to be setting up basic transactions or basic payment buttons so that we've got, we can see exactly how that works. I'll be talking about creating subscription payments, refunds. I'll be talking about how to do cancellations, how to set up tracking links and affiliates, bump offers, upsells, downsells, and coupons. That's pretty much on my agenda. So let me share my screen here and get those things up and running. And if you'd like to cover anything else specifically, I'd love to know. So just let me know what your thoughts are, and see how I can get a chat box back up and running here, because I seem to have lost my chat box. There we go. Cool. Now I've got my chat box up. That works better. So guys, I'll ask you, you are more than welcome to jump on and ask questions. This is an interactive session, but unless you have a question, keep your microphone muted so that we don't have the background noise. So Don Schultz, I'm just going to mute you, my friend. If you've got a question, please drop it in the chat box. I literally am here to help you guys and help you train. So let me know what you'd like to cover, and any questions that you have. I'll be happy to cover it. So Dawn says, I picked up Thrivecart because of the one-time fee. The pages, funnels, bump sales. I love the number of integrations and how you can set up rules for post-sale steps, and the affiliate program management and the platform itself. So that was Dawn's comment there as well. And Gaynor says, the main reason for picking up was reducing the per transactions fee. So one of the things that I talked about when we were talking about Thrivecart, and the guys have kept the lifetime offer open which is why I've got that link up on the screen there, approvedbywalt.com/Thrivecart. If you haven't picked up Thrivecart yet on the one-time fee, they've kept it open because of the whole COVID pandemic and that kind of stuff. They were supposed to close it off, but they wanted to let a few more people in. So that is still open, available. And Gaynor, you're exactly right. Reducing the per transaction fee is the key. In the promotional video that I did, I talked about the fact that I use a lot of different payment platforms. We do all of our launches and affiliate promotions through JVZoo, which has been great because that's where the affiliates kind of dwell, and you need to work with where the affiliates are if you wanted to make a lot of sales. So they take a 5% per transaction fee. Doesn't seem like a lot when you make $100 sale. You know, hey, $5 went out of your pocket for the payment to be transacted, and you know, okay, cool, $5 is $5. But when you add that up on we've got 6 different JVZoo accounts for our different products that we have. On one of our JVZoo accounts, which is our largest one, we've done 4.8 million, and that equates to over $240,000 worth of fees. So over the last 4 or 5 years, $240,000, $250,000 has gone out in fees. So, you know, that $5 doesn't seem like much when it's little, but when you've got something that's working, and let's face it, that's why we're all here, to have something working, it adds up quick. So Lee says, I picked it up for the one-off payment. I use square.com at the moment, which is a pay per transaction, and it's getting more expensive as my business grows. Exactly. Could I remember to zoom in a little bit more when I start the demo? Yeah, sure. Is the screen not showing in large enough? Oh, that's interesting. How to do tags and segmentation, Elena. Sure, we'll have a look at that. And see if we can get it in. That may be something that we look at. So guys, I have got a slide deck. I've literally only got 3 slides here. And this is the first one, why we're going to be running through this amazing software. This is the second slide. It's got my agenda, and then why I love it at the end. So it's literally a very, very brief slide deck. Most of this time is going to be spent in the software itself. So I'm going to, I'll read this one more question, and then I'll jump in and try not to kind of jump back and forth between the flow and the questions, but drop the questions in and I'll pause as we go through. So Michael has just said, for quick billing on the fly. Yeah, that's why one of the big reasons why I love it. Owns a 7-figure store and have their in-house cart. But when we get custom design requests, it's easy to just set up a very quick payment button. So is my screen tiny, guys? Is that the issue? So I've got my whole screen shared here. It looks fine. Try making the Zoom full screen. I'll try that, but I lose my chat box, Dawn. So let's see how we go. All right, guys, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully, so I'm just going to jump across to the software itself. You guys tell me if I'm full screen, and we'll see how we go. Got you full screen. Okay, cool, great, fantastic. So I've got multiple different Thrivecart accounts. When I actually found out that Thrivecart was doing a one-time deal, I picked up, you can see all my different logins there. I picked up a Thrivecart program for each and every one of my projects. What I didn't realize was that you could have multiple payment processes, and I could have all of my different payment processes linked into one account. So I didn't need to do that. But I was so excited about the fact that this one-time payment shopping cart system had been opened that I was like, there's no way I'm missing that. And I literally, I pulled out my credit card and I bought a separate account for every single one of my my businesses. Again, don't need to do that. I've since found out that you can, of course, have multiple payment processes and transact through multiple different businesses in one account, but not to worry. So I've got multiple accounts. I'm going to log into one of them. And this is the one that I use for PRH and quick domain sales. If I'm selling domain names, I can quickly create a payment button. But so coming back to my agenda here, and let me just pop that up on the screen as well. I've got 7,000 different things up on the screens, as we've got chat boxes and participant boxes and everything coming in. So welcome to the dashboard. And again, guys, if my screen doesn't show or if something's off, let me know. so I can adjust as we go. So welcome to the dashboard. Across the top, we've got obviously the dashboard here. We've got the ability to go into products, which is where we'll spend most of our time today. I can look up transactions. I can look up subscriptions, check on affiliates, set up JV partners, and of course, in my settings area. In the settings, and this is where we're going to start with our training. And remember, guys, this is going to be a technical session. Pull out the pen and paper, grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine, cold beer, whatever it may be. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm on a cup of tea. So, but I do understand if other end of the world, you might be on a glass of wine or a cold beer, that's fine. But it is going to be a technical session. So we're going to run through specifics and see how everything stacks up. So the first things that we're going to start with is in the profile. And of course, in the profile, very, very simply, you're just updating your name, address, logo, all of those kind of informations. And of course, you can set up your passwords and two-factor authentication. Coming back a screen, the next step is in our settings. And this is where you're going to set up your integrations. And this is what I would encourage you to start with, because this allows you to connect lots of different things. So let's start with integrations, and we start with payment platforms. So the 3 payment platforms that you can connect to the Thrivecart system are Stripe, PayPal, and Authorize.net. Okay. So if I don't have an Authorize.net account, but I've certainly got multiple Stripe and multiple PayPal accounts. And I do 100% recommend having more than one payment platform. The reason being is that every payment platform has a reputation for going down at some point. And it might just be as simple as a matter of authority checks or security checks, that kind of thing. So for example, we were running a couple of $1 million through our PayPal account, and they put a freeze on the funds, and that nearly crippled us. We had millions of dollars in there, and they literally froze it as they were doing security checks and authorizations and that kind of stuff. And we had bills to pay, we had affiliates to pay, we had money that needed to be spent as part of running a business. And when that freeze came in, it nearly crippled us. Thankfully, we had Stripe, and we were just able to turn off the PayPal button and just take payment via credit card until the payment released, until PayPal opened back up again. So I do recommend having multiple payment platforms integrated. And setting up these integrations in Thrivecart is super easy. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So with Stripe, for example, nice and easy. So you can see at the moment that I've got one of my Stripe accounts connected, and to connect another account, very, very simple to do. So literally just click to authorize, and you'll open up your Thrivecart Stripe integration page. Click on connect your Stripe account and just simply log in and add in your details. Once you're connected, it's going to tell you to authorize. So I'm just going to click on yep, connect. Drop in all my details there. I've got a two-factor authentication to go through. So let me just grab my code. Radio. There we go. And click on connect. And that's it. That's as hard as it is to connect a new Stripe account. So obviously, once you've got a Stripe account set up, guys, who's using Stripe in their online business? Just give me a 1 if you've got Stripe connected. Ones. Let's see, ones. Yep. A few people using Stripe. Okay. If you haven't got a Stripe account, highly recommended. They're really super easy to use. And one of the things I like about Stripe is your ability to sell your business. What do I mean by that? We looked to selling one of our businesses a few years ago, and we had 100% of our income going through PayPal, and it was all on recurring payments, but it was an issue because PayPal stated categorically, without any negotiation, that the recurring payments could not change business name to business name. So in other words, we had a $1 million business and wanted to sell that company. And the fact is that we couldn't transfer the ownership of the recurring payments to the new business owner. And that killed the sale. Whereas Stripe allows you to export your transactions across to a new Stripe account, which obviously then allows you to sell those that subscription revenue. So now things may have changed. I don't know if things have changed in the last 2 years with PayPal, but if you're not using Stripe, I highly recommend it. It's an amazing platform. The only complaint I have against Stripe is that if you have a payment dispute, which happens frequently, where people don't recognize the charge, they sign up for a subscription or something like that, and they lodge a dispute, Stripe take a pretty hefty dispute payment. And I think it's, thinking on dollars, I think it might actually be even a flat fee. It might be $25 or $50 or something like that. It's a pretty hefty fee. But thankfully obviously that fee gets returned to you once you share your subscriptions and all of that kind of stuff. And you can refund the transaction and they refund the fee. So that's my only complaint with Stripe. Other than that, I love them. Their mobile app is super friendly. So if you're not using Stripe, highly recommend it. But that's how easy it is to set up a Stripe account. So now when I'm setting up a product, I can now take payment through a second Stripe account that I've just added to the program. Setting up PayPal, just as easy. Literally come across into PayPal and add another PayPal account. So same process, log in, authorize, and now PayPal's added. So now that we've added different payment integration systems, when you're setting up a product, when you want to take a payment, you get to choose which account is this payment going into. And we'll show you that in just a second. So adding in your payment processes is the number one thing that, that you should do when you're getting started with the Thrivecart system. So we need to have a way of that money flowing through. All right. So again, I don't have an active, what was the other one? The third, authorized net. Sorry, I don't have an authorized net account. They don't transact with Australian businesses, which is weird. But anyway, that's the case. I've got Stripe and PayPal. So any questions on the payment setups, guys? Anything that you'd like to cover on the simple connection of these systems? Everybody good? Okay, so the next thing that we want to integrate is our autoresponders. And the reason why you want to connect your autoresponder is very, very simple. When you take a payment from a customer, you will want to add them into your database. You want to keep contact with that customer. You want to be able to send them a welcome email. You want to be able to update them with any news. You want to build your database. That's part of having an online business. And the connections with the autoresponders are huge. So you can filter from the list here. You can see that there's 37 things that you can integrate with. So you can filter out and just have those ones on the page if you want to, or you can have them all on the page. And you can connect with, as we scroll across, ActiveCampaign, Aweber, ConvertKit, Drip, InCharge, haven't heard of that one, GetResponse, HubSpot, Infusionsoft, MailChimp, MailerLite, Moose, Send, interesting, Ontraport, Sendy, and then we get into our membership platforms. So there's plenty of choices there. If whichever autoresponder you have isn't listed here, chances are excellent that you can connect it via Zapier, which is one of the things that you can add within the system here. So if you have a different autoresponder, you're able to connect it via Zapier. So I've got ActiveCampaign and GetResponse as in my suite. So you can see here that I've got ActiveCampaign connected. And again, to connect is super easy. I haven't connected my GetResponse, so I'll show you how to do it with that one. But again, it's very simple to be able to just simply click. It'll ask you for your authorization. I know in ActiveCampaign, you just need to drop in your API key, which you get from your settings. And I'm sure GetResponse is the same. So I use GetResponse for my JV partners, so there's no need to have it connected here, but it is exactly the same. If you haven't done that before, I'll show you very quickly. So logging into any one of the autoresponders is going to be the same. I think Aweber is the only difference where you don't have an API key, you have just a username and password. But getting your API key from any of the autoresponders, they all have an exact place to get that. I know in GetResponse, we are up in the top right-hand corner in settings, And straight from there is integrations and API keys. So all you need to do is come across to your accounts, come to manage accounts, come to, where are we? Somewhere in here. Okay. Am I in the wrong spot then? Okay. Somewhere in here is my API key. Okay. Apologies. Okay. Top left-hand corner in the menu, integrations and API key. So literally here you're able to create your API key, which is the button in the middle here, gives you a key right here, and then you're just copying it into the key field within Thrivecart. All right. Super easy to do. Any of the autoresponder integrations. And again, Thrivecart's integrations are excellent. So ActiveCampaign, Aweber, ConvertKit, all of the different ones here, they're all going to have slightly different methods. But again, one of the things that I like about the way the guys have set up Thrivecart is that there's also a video on each integration. So if you're struggling with a connection, this video will show you exactly what to do with each one of those. So we've connected a payment processor, Stripe, PayPal, AuthorizeNet. We've connected a autoresponder, all right? And being able to then add people into your lists is what we'll do when we get part of our behaviors within the products themselves. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to cover with our integrations is specifically Zapier. And Zapier is a massive tool to be able to connect to for multiple different reasons. So for example, and they give you some examples here of what you can do with a Thrivecart transaction. You can drop somebody into a training course. If you've got Kajabi or Thinkific, you could add someone into just a simple Google spreadsheet. You could create a Slack message. You could add somebody to a Facebook group. You could send them a tweet. You could make a post on Facebook. You can do so many different things with Zapier because of that integration. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But for those of you who haven't used Zapier before, it's a massive, massive tool. So we use it for hundreds of different things. And one of them is, as a transaction comes through, we have a connection to a physical mailing system where we send out people gifts. So once they buy a particular product from us, we send them coffee cups, some brownies, a t-shirt, notepads, that kind of stuff. And that all happens automatically in the background. So literally as soon as the transaction goes through via Zapier, we're able to come in and connect it using this system here. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But Zapier is an amazing system to be able to connect anything, any CRM, any automation. So you may want to just do something as simple as send a Slack message to an onboarding person, or send a tweet that XYZ customer just joined you, or whatever it is that you want to be able to do, you can do via Zapier. So the integration side of things is a massive part of a shopping cart, and Thrivecart makes this very, very simple. So I'm just about to go into creating a product for sale. That's the whole point of the Thrivecart system. Before I do, is there any questions on the integrations side of things? Either payment platform integrations or autoresponder integrations. I didn't cover membership systems. Sorry, I should just talk about that very quickly as well. Membership systems. If you sell a training course, some of the best ways to do that are with member platforms. And there's some specific ones here like DAP, Lifter, MemberMouse, MemberPress, Optimize Member, Teachable, Thinkific, Thrive Apprentice, haven't come across that one before. Wishlist, very popular. So membership platforms, if you have a training course, you can link those up as well. And some of the ones that aren't listed here, I use Everlesson. Again, you can work through Zapier to connect with that as well. So has anybody got any questions on integration side of things? Or if you're ready to carry on, just drop a 1 in the chat box and I'll jump straight into creating products for sale. Everybody good to go? All right, cool. Everybody still with me? I feel like this is a very dry session. I'm worried that I'm talking into an empty box right now. Everybody still good? Got a couple of people answering there. Okay, cool. Great. Thanks, guys. And again, don't forget, you can, if you'd like to ask any questions personally, this is your opportunity to do so. Feel free to unmute, ask the question. You know, if you've got the question, chances are excellent that other people on the call will have questions as well. So feel free to unmute, ask a question, or if you'd rather just type questions in the chat box, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Okay, so we've talked about integrations, and before you take a payment, setting up your integrations is key. So starting there in the settings area and in integrations is where you want to get to. Okay, now we get to the fun part. Now we get to, okay, let's take a payment. And as we do, I just want to tell you a quick story. Dana, no problems. We'll have the replay available for you. Just want to tell you a quick story. My accountant, she always used to send me an invoice with bank account details to do a funds transfer. And we transact as much of our business as we can using our American Express credit card because we get frequent flyer points. Now, these days with COVID, we're not flying very far. But regardless of that, our family uses those points for everything, like obviously holidays and that kind of stuff. And it's amazing to be able to run millions of dollars worth of transactions and have flights and holidays and hotels and that kind of stuff. So we love putting everything on the card. And I said to my accountant, because she's sending me the invoices, obviously, for the work that she's doing. She sent me the invoice. It's got the transfer funds, you know, direct bank to bank transfer, branch number, all that stuff. And I just sent her back an email and I was like, hey, Rochelle, we'd love to pay this via credit card to keep our points rolling forward. Can we set that up? And she replied with, I don't know how to do that. I have no idea. And I was like, wow, millions of businesses out there would answer that question the same way. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to set up and take a credit card. Don't you have to have one of those swipe machines? Or if you're old like me, you can say, don't you have to have one of those printed forms with the carbon paper? You have to lay the card flat. No, not anymore, of course. Being able to take money over the internet is amazing. And even just something simple as a friend who you, I don't know, you loan money to, or, you know, somebody needs to send you money or something like that. Like, imagine if you need, again, I'm just putting out a thought there. So I'll come and speak face to face for a second. Imagine if you just had to ask your parents to borrow a bit of money or something like that. You just needed to have some cash and they're like, oh, how can I get it to you? If you've got a Stripe account and Thrivecart, you can just set up a product for $1,000 or $500 or whatever. You can get them to send you the money and that money's with you instantly, and they can pay it on a credit card over the internet. So people knowing how to take digital transactions, it's a huge thing. So don't dismiss the fact that you guys probably know all of this stuff, like being able to take a credit card over the internet. A lot of businesses don't know that. And if you can help them set it up, of course, you can charge them a fee for that. Dawn, I know that we were talking the other day, saying that a lot of your businesses that you're working with as an agency don't have any idea how to take a payment online. And if you can set them up and show them how to do it, you know, again, you can certainly charge for that. So just a quick one. So yeah, we showed our accountant how to have a Stripe account, which is super easy to sign up for and free, and how to have a payment button on the internet. And now she can just send me an invoice with a link and I can pay my my payment straight away. One of my JV partners, so when we run a launch, we often have prize money and that kind of stuff that we need to pay. And so one of my JV partners actually won, I think, a couple of $1,000s as a prize money. And I said, hey, send me a PayPal account and I'll send this over to you. And he said, my PayPal account's been suspended. As we said, happens a lot. Can I send you a payment button rather than you send me the money, make it a transaction like you're buying something from me? So it was super easy to create a payment button, you know, add in the amount that they owe you and just send them a link. So let's get into that because that's the fun stuff. All right. So right now we can say, okay, I need to create a payment button. I've got a product for sale. It's $500 or it's $4.99 or it's, you know, $37 or it's $1, whatever it might be. Let's create a simple payment. We're going to talk about subscription payments in just a minute, where you have that monthly recurring fee, which we do a lot for rentals and that kind of stuff. If we're talking domain names, or all of our software, of course, has that as well. So let's create a product for sale and let's take some payments. So at the top, we simply go to products, and we can then just simply click on create a product. And at this point, we can say, is it a digital or a physical product? The difference, of course, being physical, you're going to link to a shipping company. And some of the drop shipping or fulfillment houses connect to a Google spreadsheet. Simple as that. Every transaction that goes through drops onto a Google spreadsheet. They connect to the Google spreadsheet and ship it out to you. But some physical stores, you'll be able to link up here so that a transaction automatically ships if people are buying print on demand from you, or other things of that nature. Sorry, excuse me. But for the case of this particular demonstration, it's what I'm used to. I'm going to talk about digital products. So let's create a new product. And as we do, there'll be some settings that we go through. So let me jump up here. I just have, again, lost my chat box. I want to make sure I've got that on the screen. There we go. So as we walk through this system, I hope you are super impressed by Thrivecart and the way it works, because really it makes this whole process easy. To show off how easy it is to take money from someone, let me just, I wasn't going to have this as part of the demo, but I just want to do a test how long it takes me from start to finish to create a link where someone can send me $500. So I'm going to click on start right now and get going. So let's do this. This is my demo webinar $500 offer. And you can see as I'm creating the name of the product, it also creates a URL. So you can have that, and I'm describing. So this is going to take longer. I can have this here, my description. So obviously what the person's buying from you. All right. Now, is it a test mode or is it live? You can have test modes. You can run in multiple transactions, but let's say it's live for now. We go next. We set up our pricing. What currency do we want to sell in? So multiple countries that you can have in there. Set your product price. Nice and easy. Is it a one-time fee, subscription, split pay, etc.? We'll cover the other options in just a second. So this is $500 that I want someone to send me. Okay. Is there a trial? No. Next, is it a one-time payment? Only allow, or I can have multiple purchases at one time. I'll explain that in just a second as well. So I've got a payment now set up. Click next. Do I want a bump offer? Again, I'll talk about that next thing. Which payment processor is this going through? So I now just have these ones that I've added before. So remember, I added a second Stripe account. So I tick Stripe and then I choose which Stripe account I want that to go to and click on save. All right, so I'm going to have this go in. I can also have multiple. So I can turn on my PayPal there as well. So now I accept Stripe or PayPal. Do I want to have affiliates? No. Next is fulfillment. What happens when someone buys? So I can have this go to my support desk. Just like that. And then either go to a URL. So for example, I can send them to a specific thank you page, which I can remember. So thanks for the transaction, for example, or I can send them or show them the invoice. I can put an expiry on that. So they've only got a certain amount of time to claim their purchase. All right. Next, I can design my checkout form. And again, I'll spend a little bit more time on this in just a second, but I can have a standard form, a pop-out, embeddable, whatever it is. I can change my designs. I've got a full editor here. Again, I'm going to talk about all of these things in just a second. And then finally, the tracking. So I can turn on Facebook tracking. Again, I'm doing this quickly. I want to show you how quick it is. Then what happens when they purchase? So I can say when it's purchased, add them to my active campaign, and it obviously shows them all of the lists that I've got within active campaign. So save and get URL and stop my timer, even with explanations, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I literally now have a link that I can send someone on an email, or I can put it on a web page, and it takes them straight to a checkout page where they put in their details. So let me just drop in something here and can take a payment. So because I ticked both Stripe and PayPal, both options are available here. PayPal, Stripe, enter the details, all right, and $500 payment straight to me. 2.5 minutes with an explanation, and I've got a fully operational payment button that I can work with. Now I'll go back through and do every one of those steps in detail and show you all of the different things. But how quick and easy it is to set up a payment. And of course, more of the details will fill in some of these blanks here. So we can, for example, add in things like, how much detail do we want on the checkout form? Do we want name, address, phone number, billing address? Like, so much we can have here. I'll show you that in just a second. We can design this form with logos. We can have this be a subscription payment. We can have it be a trial payment, but two and a half minutes with an explanation. Without the explanation, I can probably do it in about 30 seconds. So somebody sends you an email, says, yeah, sure, I'd like to go ahead. Within 30 seconds or a minute at most, you can have a link back to them saying, great, here's our payment link. As soon as payment goes through, we'll take the next steps. All right. So nice and easy and very, very quick is my point. Let's go back in and fill some of these details out. So let me come back in here and edit my product settings. So nice and easy to be able to quickly create a payment button. Let's fill in some of the blanks here. So before I do that, like, is that okay, guys? Michael says, I love this. It's super easy. That's, again, why we absolutely stand behind Thrivecart. Any questions on the quick one? And let's then roll through. Guys, as I'm talking, if something jumps out at you and says, hey, Walt, please, focus a little bit more on that. Let me know so that I can dive a little bit deeper in on it. Anything catch your eye? You're like, oh, gee, I hope he covers that. Guys, I'll make sure I cover off as much as I can. In case you hadn't guessed, me asking you questions also gives me an opportunity to have a mouthful of chamomile tea to keep the voice going. Everybody good? All right, cool. Let's carry through. So as we just saw, when we're setting up a product for sale, we've got all of these different tabs here, and the Thrivecart system just literally walks you through each and every one of them. So on this front page, we're giving this a name, and as it says, this will appear on the cart and on the invoice. All right. So make sure you're careful with the way that you're describing your product and what your customers are seeing, because whatever you put in here will be seen. Sorry, I'm just realizing that I may have people in my waiting room and I hadn't let them in. No, they're all good. Nobody waiting. Great. So what you write here will be seen on the cart and in the invoice. You can also have your checkout page URL. If you pick up the pro version of Thrivecart, you can also have your own URL as the checkout page. So again, if I show you this URL, which is the payment link, you can see that it is, whichever account I'm in, .thrivecart.com/ whatever we just called the product. If you've got the pro version, which I do, you can also have, so I could have just simply prh.com/ whatever. I could have my own URL. Now, does it matter? To me, no, I don't use that feature. But you can. So you can eliminate the fact that you're using Thrivecart and have that payment system straight through to you. Personally, I don't think it matters. But again, it's certainly something that's there and available if you wanted to. So that URL, the URL of what is actually being shown to the customer, again, is on that front page. Let that reload. Here we go. So I can change this. So my checkout page URL, if I wanted it to say special offer, okay, I can change that to be whatever I want it to be. The description, as this says, used to identify this product just to you. So here you can type in anything you want to. You can keep this the hidden one. This can be the one-time special offer deal, whatever you want to label it or call it. Next is down the bottom here, disabled, test mode, and live. Once you set up a product, you can't delete it because it actually has transactional history that stays on the Thrivecart servers. So once you've had transactions go through, you can't actually take it off. It just simply disables that product. So no more sales of that can go through. And that's also a great way if you've got an expiring offer. So for example, you've set up a page, the offer's only available for 1 week, and you want to make it publicly known that when they click on it, sorry, this product is no longer available for sale, you can simply disable that product. All right. Test mode is great because if you're setting up all kinds of integrations, you want to see if, again, from a software company's point of view, I want to make sure the license key is delivered. I want to make sure that the name is added to my autoresponder. I want to make sure that the upsell offer is shown. I can run multiple transactions through in test mode with a credit card, and it doesn't actually ring in a transaction. It just goes through the motions of what will happen in that payment flow. Dawn, tell me about Thrive Apprentice. I saw that on the integrations. Dawn's just mentioned Thrive Apprentice is an integration. Very, very cool. I haven't come across it, man. I don't even know what it is. Feel free to unmute and tell us about that if you'd like to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a new thing they just launched that it's like for coaching and training in members areas. And I think it might be less than 30 days old. I mean, it's been in beta for a while, but I have that, and I set one up, and I just realized that Thrivecart directly integrates with it. So that's beautiful. Pretty cool.
Do they are they doing a one-time deal on that as well, mate?
No, I do not believe so.
Okay.
That, you know, Thrive Themes, you have to buy basically everything.
Yeah.
And it's a monthly subscription or a quarterly subscription, I believe, $30 a month. So that's included in that monthly subscription or quarterly subscription, whatever it is.
Nice. I just bought their
pretty slick. I've been playing with it.
Yeah, it's as good as like Thinkific or a Kajabi kind of replacement.
I think it's better than Kajabi. I have not played with Thinkific enough, but I definitely think it's better than Kajabi. I use a lot of Wishlist. Yep. And I think it's better than Wishlist as well.
I found Wishlist hard to use, but it's what you know, isn't it? Like once you get bedded in with a particular platform, like I said with Everlesson, we actually signed up with Thinkific a few months ago, looking to migrate everything across to Thinkific. And like when you're trying to learn something new, you just, you know, it feels like you're walking through mud, and sometimes you just return to what you know best, because in Everlesson I can just set up, you know, membership programs with my eyes closed. But if the Thrive Apprentice is easy to use and integrates directly with the Thrivecart, how very, very cool, guys. Sorry, what Dawn and I are talking about there is, like, if you're selling a training course, and imagine if you've got like you've got an introductory module, so it's, you know, $1 to get started, and then if they pay monthly, they get access to the full training suite. Like, having a membership program is an amazing way to build recurring income without having to go down the software path. So if they've built their own membership program that integrates directly with their payment platform, that is just super cool. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out, man. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Did you also pick up their, they had another lifetime deal just gone by with the conversion bot or something like that? Conversion.
I haven't bought that yet, but it comes highly recommended from a lot of people that I trust their, like Mike Cooch swears by it.
Nice.
I trust his opinion. So I have not yet.
I like the look of it. And guys, the reason I asked on that, and something that made me hesitate about Thrivecart, the only reason I hesitated years ago when I first saw that they were that they had the one-time deal on, I hesitated. And the reason I hesitated is because as a software vendor, I looked at this and I said, damn, if these guys go under, I'm screwed. Like, I don't want to have all my payments set up on a platform that's not going to be around in 2 years. And so I hesitated. And then just more and more people were saying, yeah, Thrivecart. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. And then I saw they had the lifetime deal on. As I said, I picked up like 6 different accounts. Yeah, cool. And I've been thrilled ever since. And they've had it on a monthly subscription between then and now that they've got this special deal on again with the lifetime deal, which is so amazing, by the way. You're paying one time to have all of this functionality. But my big concern was, are these guys still going to be around? And since I picked up Thrivecart, I've got to know Josh Rutter, who's the owner. And I have literally zero concerns in that space anymore, because as Dawn just said, they have a membership platform that has a monthly subscription, and they're making a stack of money. I mean, Josh is maxing it hard at 8 figures and above these days. So being a software vendor, I know personally that running a software business is expensive. You have developers, you have support, you have admin, you have costs. And when I looked at Thrivecart initially, I was worried that it wouldn't be around forever. But since now I know Josh a lot better and have seen the additional software tools that he's releasing, I have zero hesitation anymore. Josh is an amazing guy, has an incredible team behind him, and has recurring revenue from all of the other areas that we just mentioned. So that makes the whole Thrivecart offer a no-brainer. So again, zero hesitations there. All right, cool. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that, man. And guys, you've just heard how easy it is to unmute, ask a question, have a comment, get involved. We love that. All right. So I'm 45 minutes in. Hopefully you guys are still with me. And let's run through a few more of these areas just to cover off some more of these bases. So we've talked about the product name, the label, internal, the test mode, and the live mode set up here. Let's go on to our next tab. So actually, before I do, let me go back one, change the product type. So the first thing that you're asked, is it digital or physical? Okay, so fairly self-explanatory. Okay, next. This is where we set up our pricing options. And we have some systems here and the ability to have multiple pricing options on a single checkout form. Now, why would that be good? Because, for example, if you had a basic level of access of whatever it is that you're selling, and then a pro level of access. So you might have like, it's $49.95 a month for this particular program, but if you pay $69.95 a month, you can get this one. You can add multiple payment options on the one checkout form and the customer can choose, which is great. It's often a great way of moving people up a tier. As you're setting up your pricing option, you have these different options here. So one-time fee, fairly self-explanatory, okay? I am charging a customer a particular amount once. So it's $500. Thank you very much. Send it to me and it's done, right? One-time fee, very self-explanatory. Subscription. Now, subscriptions has a few different things, and I'll talk about that specifically with trials as we get to that. So I'll come back and do another walkthrough specifically with subscriptions. Split pay. Now, split pay is a very cool way of selling high ticket items. So if you're selling something of, let's say, $500 and above, so we still consider $500 to be what we call mid-ticket. So high ticket generally $2,000 and above. But you know, whatever your kind of level is of the person that you're talking to will depend on what they feel is mid or high ticket. For someone, you know, $10,000 is an easy drop in the bucket. For other people, that's a lifetime. So it depends on your customer base. But split pay allows you to, for example, say to someone, it's a $2,000 program, or you can pay $795 a month for 3 months, or you can pay over a period of predefined time. So when you choose the split pay, you get to choose how many payments, up to 6. Okay, so we might say instead of being $2,000, it's going to be $900 over 3 payments. And you can see that the customers are charged $900 immediately, and then 2 more payments monthly to $2,700. Okay, so split pay allows you to bring someone in and get them paying you with a recurring payment over a set period of time. And that sometimes will allow you to get a sale where normally that customer wouldn't have been able to afford it. From again, a professional point of view, split pay payments are always higher than the bulk because we have a drop off. People pay once, pay twice, and then they miss the 3rd payment or something like that. That is a dangerous split pay. It's not actually as big as I thought it would be initially. I thought that split pay would have a massive drop off. It doesn't. If people are committing to it, they generally follow through. There is still an 80-20 rule with that though. So that's why split payment is always high. So that's why, that's one of the payment options is you can set up, it's still a one-time payment theoretically, but we just split that payment over a few months. And then the pay your own price. Wow, this is something that I couldn't believe when I first came across it. Why would anybody do that? Until I saw it done so successfully by a professional copywriter. And what he did was he put up an amazing training program at pay your own price, and was shocked thinking that people would choose. So you could set a minimum, obviously. So it's maybe you set a minimum of $10, all right? But then they can also choose to add additional money. And so he added this incredible training program and set it up with a $1 minimum price, and was shocked to see, because he would have been selling it at 79. Sorry, I forgot to include that as part of the commentary. He would have been charging $79. but he set it up as $1 pay your own, right? And he was shocked that people were paying $250, $350, $500 for the course. And that's a really interesting way of judging market reaction. All right. So a lot of the times when we're selling something online, one of the big questions is, how should I price this? Well, that actually works out a decent way. When you take a bell curve, like a mean curve, cut off the ends. So take off the people that pay $1, take off the people that pay $500, and you're left with kind of that middle ground, and you kind of get a feeling for what your public is willing to pay. But also the pay your own price is an amazing way of bringing people into a funnel and then getting them to, add more money to that transaction later on, especially if you feel like, or the customer feels like they've got great value from that first small amount, they're more willing to then buy that higher offer later on down the track. So you have an option to pay your own price within Thrivecart. So as I said, I'll come back to the subscriptions because that's an important thing. So once we've got our type of payment that we're taking, what kind of transaction are we setting up here? Then of course we set our price, and we can simply, if this is a one-time payment, we can have this as a $450 payment. All right. And as you can see, your customer will charge $450 immediately. What about this trial period here? You can have a one-time price, still have a trial. So in other words, it's $450, but for 7 days, you can get in for free. So get in for free, and in 7 days, you're going to be charged that $450. Okay. So how would that work? They would they'd fill in their credit card details, but nothing would be taken. So in other words, you've got 30 days to get in, use this product, make money from it, use it however you want to. At the end of the 30 days, you will be billed $450 with this particular setup that I'm showing here. So you can set a trial even on a one-time pricing. Okay. And then this last box on this payment options is set the quantity. Okay. So you can actually set that only 10 of these are available. And after the 9th one, it'll show product is sold out. All right. So you can have a specific quantity of product that you can sell if you wanted to set that option down the bottom here. Okay. So that's how we're setting up our payment options. Now, next, name the pricing option. Important to note, this will appear on your cart if you have multiple pricing options. So don't call this something that you don't want your customers to see, and make it clear and easy to understand. So when they get to the shopping cart, for example, and again, a great sales technique is you can offer a monthly fee at, let's say, $97 a month, or one-time payment of $450. So that when the customer gets to the checkout, they get to choose, do I want the $97 a month, or do I want the $450 one time? So this will appear on your shopping cart. So you get to choose what this says. All right. Next, we're set up and ready to rock. We've got 2 different payment options now. And again, I can keep adding multiple payment options as I want to. And I can set one to be the preferred option. So obviously I'd like my $500 option to be the preferred one. That means automatically on the checkout form, it's going to be filled in with whichever option you've chosen as your preferred option. Okay. Next, do we want to calculate sales tax automatically based on location? Okay. So you have to set up your own sales tax system for that. And that will then charge sales tax at the customer's location. So in Australia, it's 10% GST. I know in lots of other places, there's different sales tax. And obviously, please check with your accountant. I'm far from qualified in that space. Check with your accountant about how you should be setting up your sales tax and how that relates to your specific business. And then next, do you want to customize your customer's invoice? So this is very, very simple designing as an option. So let me show as a preview. Sorry, my apologies. This is how it looks right now. I can open up a designer and I can put in my text. So thanks for your purchase. Your chocolate is on the way. Okay, whatever you want it to say. All right, so let's bold that up. Next, so that's going to be at the top. We want to put an image, right? So let's see if I've got one quickly that I can find here. There we go. That'll do me. All right. So you can put your logo at the top of the invoice, choose your invoice color, click on save. All right. So now we've got a more personal designed invoice. There we go. Thanks for your purchase. Your chocolate's on the way. We've got the logo should appear here in just a second. Contact support, download a PDF of your invoice. So you can design that invoice, which again is a really nice feature within the Thrivecart program. All right. So that is just the pricing tab. We've talked about the options so far. We've talked about the pricing tab. Next, we want to talk about the bump tab. Bump offers are amazing. And one of the reasons why I love Thrivecart, bump offers add significantly to your revenue. So what is a bump offer? A bump offer is where you have somebody who's made a transaction. So you've run an ad, let's say, for example, for maybe even a loss leader product. So you've run an ad for a $10 training program, which is amazing. And then at checkout, you may have seen this before where you have that little option that says, add in our gold service for just $79 more. Tick that button, and now instead of being a $10 transaction, it's 10 plus 79, it's an $89 transaction. So you can bring people in with amazing sales copy on a cheap option, and a bump offer on the checkout form itself will give you a much higher cart checkout value. So how does it work? First, you need to have more than one product set up in Thrivecart. So with this particular program, I have multiple products. So I'm going to say, what am I selling right now? I'm selling this $500 product right now. I want to offer a bump. So now it's going to say, same sections again, digital, physical. Okay. Which do you want to set up a bump offer? What's my bump offer? It's extra service, or might be a setup or an installation fee or something like that. How much is my bump offer? $200. Okay. Should the bump be pre-selected by default? So you can choose yes or no. All right. So if you choose yes, the customer has to deselect it. All right. Or they must add it, your choice. Okay. So this appears on your cart page. All right. Let me show you what happens with the bump offer. So before I go, sorry, I have to have bump type digital. Okay, sorry, I need to configure my behavior. I think it is in fulfillment. Here we go. Success URL for the bump offer. There we go. So if they also add the bump offer, of course, you need to be able to fulfill that. So I just want to show you the bump offer. Let's go and have a look at our product. Refresh and see some of the things that we've done now. Did I change my URL? I did indeed. And I constantly have to keep moving my Zoom tools out of the way. All right. So we've changed a few things. First, we changed the URL, which we just saw. Next, we've got, don't miss this amazing offer. This is our bump. All right. This is where we're setting up that bump offer. I can add that to my checkout. You can also see that sales tax is being added now because I turned that on. Okay, so this is how the bump offer works. So I've come in on a $500 product. I can also choose to have my setup done for me. Okay, and I can add that right here. Also, the other thing that we did a few moments ago was we had these different payment options. Do you remember? And I set one of them as the preferred option. So right here, this is what it looks like on the checkout form. So I can see, I can now choose the monthly option or the lifetime option or the gold option or the whatever options that I wanted to set it up as. And I've got a very different setup on my checkout form. All right, just by those changes that we made back in the Thrivecart system. So coming back here, what have we done? Let's have a look. We set up multiple payment options. Okay. Hang on, sorry. I'm just going to pause for 1 second and go to questions. So Lee says, I'm creating a website client, a holiday home. Do I have the option to book different nights? No, it won't. No, it's not a booking system like that, Lee. It'll take the payment, sure. But in terms of the actual days and calendars and that kind of stuff, no, that's not part of Thrivecart unless you've got a holiday booking system that you can integrate through Zapier. So Dawn's answered that, and Michael's said the same thing. Yeah. So the booking script would tie in with the shopping cart. Yeah, exactly. Walt could probably clarify this better. I got to the end of that and realized that Michael had said it, but hopefully that helps. So you'd need to have them set up the booking itself. So they have a separate page for dates and times and whatever, and then have an integration back into Thrivecart, probably using a webhook, which is a particular type of integration that you can set up within the system. So the webhook in Zapier, as an example, you can set up a webhook to take the days, calculate the amount, and then that could feed into your Thrivecart shopping cart, definitely. So if the days were 7 and it was $100 per day, 7 times 100 would just pop open a payment form that showed 7 times 100, $700. So, but you'd need the booking system to then integrate to the payment. So hopefully that's a little bit more helpful. So what have we done so far? Sorry, guys, I've missed the questions up until now. We've set up a name of a product. We've set some different pricing options. Now we know that we can set that up. We've seen how we can calculate sales tax. We've edited the customer's invoice. We've talked about bump offers, okay, and how they work and how they look. Next, we've said which payment platforms we want to take payment from with this particular program. Then we have the affiliate system. And again, I'll come back to that one specifically. Next, we've got fulfillment. So how do people get access to your product and where do they go for support? That's a requirement when you've got the transaction. What happens after the purchase? Do we just show them the invoice on screen? Okay. Do we send them to a thank you URL, or do we link them to that membership platform that we were talking about before? And as I said, I don't have any tied into this particular payment account, but if you've got Thrivecart, what was it called? Thrivecart Academy or Thrivecart Apprentice, whatever it was called. The Thrivecart membership system, it would link straight in, or Kajabi or Thinkific or Wishlist or any of those. It's going to link them to the membership. So they get their welcome email, they get their login screen, they get all that kind of gear. Okay. Or if you're sending them to a URL, which is what I do typically with my transactions. So I'll just show you what I mean. Nope. That one. Thank you page, very simply. After the transaction has gone through, a thank you page literally says, thank you. This is your product. This is where you access it. This is how to get access to our support, etc. So you can set up a thank you URL. With a lot of my software, sometimes they go straight to the actual login page. They've made the payment. The next screen they see is their login. All right. So that's your choices there of what to do after they've purchased. Show their invoice, send them to a URL, or add them to a membership site. Cool. Next. So we've got that set up. The next is our checkout form. And this is where you get to have a bit of fun with what your customer sees while they're buying from you. So we have some different options here of the way that the checkout form will look. So select the cart type. This one is literally the link that we've just shown you where we have a checkout form. Here it is. Okay. Let's have a look at what it looks like if it's a sales cart. So saving that one. Let's go and grab our URL again. Okay. So now I can see that this is a one-page form. All right. Payment over here. And it's just a much simpler view. I've never actually used that one, so I've probably described that badly. I always just use the standard cart. Let me come back to our checkout and see if we get some better information there. Windy, yes, we'll have a replay available for you guys. Sales carts. Looks like it's just, more different information that you can put on the screen. You can see the different icons there. So we'll get to the designer in just a second. So I'll talk through the standard one. An embeddable shopping cart means that you can actually have a code that you can put on your own site. So instead of going to another URL, you can actually have the checkout form on the same page. So they've read through and then they literally just get to the checkout page and they fill in all the details without having to click anything else. That's what embeddable means. And pop-up means that you can have them stay on the same URL. So they've read through your sales page, they click buy, it's a pop-up that they can then fill in and they haven't left your website. So just those two depends on how you want to have the transaction appear to the customer. So let's get to the design. So working with the standard one, we come across to design and we can literally just launch the editor. And this is where you can have some fun with how it looks. So you've got two different pages here. You've got the cart page up the top and the success page. And you can see that this is what we've got here. And things that you want to add in. So first of all, you can have either a multi-step or a single step. So what does that mean? In a multi-step environment, they put their customer details first. Okay. In a single step environment, it's all included on the one page. You can see the payment information pops up there. And over on the right-hand side is where you can add multiple things into the system. So for example, I could have put in a countdown timer. All right. So let me drag this across. There we go. Click, click. This is your new shopping cart. Right. So that's just adding some text in there. All right. I want a countdown timer. Click. And let's see if I can get that over here. Having trouble with my designer. Drag it everywhere. Trying to add it to one of my areas here. Can get that one. There we go. Adding that one. Let's see if I can get my countdown timer to appear. Won't let me add it. Okay. Testimonials. Drop it over here. Images. Drop it over here. Okay. So I can literally design these shopping cart forms however I want to. Okay. When you click on, for example, contact information, you may want to have more. So when you click on a particular part, so I've clicked on contact information, and over here, I can see lots of different things now that have just appeared. So maybe I want to capture the customer's name. Okay. Maybe I want to have their phone number turned on, and I can make it either enabled or required, optional or required. Okay. So you can see that I can add the different customer information here. And I can also add in custom fields. So set up a custom field. The field ID is, this is what's going to come through on your autoresponder. So let's call this notes, for example. Label for your customers. Add in your t-shirt size. Okay. Click on save. All right. And as you see there, add in your t-shirt size. So now we need to capture that t-shirt size before that checkout will carry through. So every single element that you click on has multiple things that you can change over here on the left. So you can change absolutely anything. When you click on it, it gives you the options of what you're allowed to add into that. So I can turn on subheadings, turn off subheadings, add in an image, turn it off. So there's lots and lots of different things that I can add in with the different elements on the checkout form. So the way you design this checkout form really is completely up to you. So let me now go and refresh this, that I've added so much jumbling stuff, and show you what it looks like now. So now we've got, there we go. Michelle just joining us. Different information here. There we go. Lots of different design stuff that we can do. Save and get URL. That's what I didn't do. Save it. Now I can refresh this one. Okay. Now we've got some different stuff popping up, that 14-day guarantee and phone numbers there, the notes, the t-shirt sizes here. So again, the design of your checkout form, completely up to you. All right, anybody's questions at the moment? What we've done so far, we've created a product for sale. We've set the price. We've set the sales tax and the options for the customer. We've talked about bump offers. We've talked about how to make sure they get the product after they buy it from you. That's in the fulfillment section. We've talked about the designing element of the checkout. Also, let me just talk about the tracking element just very quickly. The tracking is allowing you to have your conversions set up with whatever platform you're using. So for example, with Facebook advertising, you have the option to add in your Facebook pixel ID. So if you're setting up Facebook ads, and again, this is not the training session to go through Facebook pixels, but if you've got a Facebook pixel, you can add it to the shopping cart, all right? And Facebook's new conversions API will allow you to track conversions directly. So which ads are sending the sales, you'll be able to track those all the way through. Okay. Google the same. You've got the ability to add in your Google Analytics, and you can also add in custom tracking codes. So if you've got multiple different tracking systems that you want to be able to track where the sales coming from, what's the conversion ratios. And again, purely from a best practices point of view, when I started out in online marketing, I proudly said, oh, all of that tracking stuff, that's all beyond me. I don't do any of that kind of gear. And then I was in a seminar, wow, it must have been about 5 years ago in the UK. And one of the presenters actually stood up and said, who in the room is doing split testing and tracking? And, probably a dozen people put up their hand. And the presenter at the front of the room obviously knew those people. And he said, isn't it interesting that the 7-figure marketers do split testing and tracking and nobody else does? And I went, wow, how stupid am I, right? Unless you're tracking what's working, you have no idea. And there's an old cliche in advertising which said we spent $50,000 in advertising and half of it got us a great return. The problem is we didn't know which half, right? Unless you're tracking, you are falling down a very deep hole. So if tracking and analytics and that kind of stuff is not in your nature, learn is the only advice I can give you. Learn, make it even if it's as simple as putting in a Facebook pixel ID and just seeing which ads are bringing you the results. I promise you'll make a lot more money doing it that way. So make sure you just learn the tracking side of things. Again, it goes against my entrepreneurial style to get into analytics, but let me tell you, there's nothing more fun than making money. So learn. There's no other easier way to say it. Learn it. It's something that you need to do. So we've talked about the type of checkout that we can have, the design of those checkout forms, adding in your tracking here is important. And the last tab here is your behavior. And then we'll come back and do subscriptions and affiliates. So behavior, what happens when this transaction goes through? And this is the automation step, what you can do in the final point of a transaction. So when the main product is purchased, now there's lots of different options here. So when the main product is purchased, as an example, for any of the pricing options or for only just one of them, if you've got multiple, so do this for the monthly, do this for the yearly, do this for the lifetime, you can set those different things. What do we want to do? We want to add it to my autoresponder, as an example, and then add them to a specific list, all right? And then choose whichever list it is coming from. That's the behavior that you can set up. You can also then trigger custom HTML, which may be what we call a webhook. So this is where we can have multiple things happen via Zapier or lots of different next steps that happen. Entries into a booking system as a great example. So you could have the time, the date, the name, all of that kind of stuff coming back through with a submitted form inside of an HTML tag here. So you have the option to say, when the product is purchased, do this. When the product is refunded, do that. When the cart is abandoned, send them a follow-up email. When the payment is declined, offer them a different option. If the bump offer is purchased, what do we want to do? If the bump offer is refunded, what do we want to do? So we have those different behaviors that we can set up, and you can have multiple rules, okay? So for example, I've set on purchase, add a tag using active campaign. Cool. What else? I can then say, also do this, also do that. On refund, do this, all right? So for example, on refund, send a message in Slack. On refund, cancel their account. On payment, send the link to the booking program or to the next integration step or whatever you want it to do. So those are the different areas within setting up a product. Name, price, bump offers, who's taking the payments, coming back to affiliates. How do we fulfill it once they've paid? What does our checkout form look like? And what happens after the transaction? All right. So that's taken 45 minutes to go through, where you saw I could create a payment button in 2.5 minutes with an explanation. When you know what all of these things are, you can literally just go, I want it to add this, do this, go over here and look like this when they check out. Click, done. Has that been helpful? Guys, just give me a 1 if that's okay. Going through all of these different steps is okay. I've got 2 last things to go through with you. The first is subscriptions. Again, that'll be reasonably quick now that we've covered everything else. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Clay. All right. And then affiliates. And we'll talk about that just as a quick one as well. But the main point of Thrivecart, of a shopping cart system is to be able to set up and take a payment. Okay, so that's what we've talked about here. Set up your pricings, your options, what happens at checkout, what does it look like, what do they get, and what happens immediately that the transaction has gone through. Okay, so that's the main point of Thrivecart. Hopefully it's helpful. Okay, cool. So 2 things left to talk about. Actually, I did have refunds, which is super easy to do as well. So let me walk through transactions, subscriptions, cancellations, refunds, and affiliates, and anything else that you guys want to cover. Alrighty, so let's talk about subscriptions as a starting point. So come back to our products. Let's create a new product as a digital product, and let's make this a subscription. Now, again, for the people who buy and sell domain names, you can also do rentals on a subscription. So it's $500 a month, as an example. You can sell services on a subscription. So we provide SEO services for you at a rate of $9.97 per month, or social media services, or whatever it may be. So same things again. It's social media management as our name of our product. All right. Give it a label here. This is the SSM monthly subscription. All right. Let's go pricing. Now, this is where you set up your subscription. All right. So again, what currency, and set our product price. Is it a one-time fee? No, it's going to be a subscription fee. And as soon as I choose that, you can see that lots of things appear. All right. And this is where we set up our subscription rules and how it works. So billing frequency, is it monthly? Is it annually? Is it quarterly? Is it every 6 months? Is it every 2 weeks? Is it weekly, or is it daily? Okay, so we have multiple different options of how often the customer will be charged. So probably the most common 2 are monthly and annual, and then you have those different other options there as well. So let's say we're having a monthly subscription. Now we set our price, of course. So let's say that this is $49.95 per month. Actually, it's social media management, isn't it? So let's say that this is $9.97 per month. All right, but today's price is $19.97. Now, why would that be the case? Why would you be charging more in the first month? Well, what if you had a setup fee? Okay. Now, one of the other things I'll talk about in just a second is coupons. So maybe you want to have it advertised as $19.97, including a $1,000 setup fee, and then it's $9.97 a month. But here's a coupon that'll save you the setup fee. Okay. So we'll talk about coupons in just a second as well. So I've got a subscription, I've got a monthly price, and I've got a today's price. Of course, you could do it the other way as well. You could say, get started today for $50 or $500, and then it's $9.97 after that. So you get to set up, and you can see exactly what's going to happen. So you can have a bit of a read through. Today, your customer will be charged $500 and then $9.97 every month until they cancel. Okay. So you set today's price and then your recurring transaction. Next, trial period. What if we had a 7-day trial? All right. So you can actually have your customer will be charged $500 for the trial and then $9.97 every month until they cancel. So what happens is, thinking about that from a date and time point of view. So let's say, for example, we had let's do this as a $50 for the first week. At the end of that week, they're going to be charged $9.97. And then they're going to be monthly from then on in. So it works like a bedding in period, I guess, if you like. But if you finish that trial, the full payment kicks in. All right. So you can have that set up. And again, reading how it works makes it easier to understand what they're going to be paying and how they're going to be accessing. All right. So how much they pay on the rebill. So this, of course, could be annually. All right. How much they pay immediately. And if it's a trial, when that rebill will happen. So that trial says you've got $100 for the first month, and then you'll be charged $9.97, and again $9.97 12 months after that. So you can see how that dates line up with whether you're setting a trial or not. Okay. And then the number of rebills. Is this an indefinite subscription? Okay. If it's for example, a software program access or a monthly membership, it's indefinite, just keeps going until they cancel. All right. Or is it custom? We can say this may be, so we've got annual here. Let's change this to weekly, just for fun. Let's say that they pay $100 a week, $10 for their first week. Okay. And then it's $100 a week thereafter for 52 weeks. Okay, so maybe you've got a 52-week coaching program or a 7-week coaching program or something like that. So you can have a lot of flexibility in the way you set up your subscriptions. Okay, so guys, does that make sense? The subscription flexibility allows you to do lots of different ways of the customer getting charged. How much they pay today, how much they pay in X amount of time. You can set that to be indefinite. You can set it to be specific on the amount of rebills. Do we want to send them an invoice for every single time or not? Yeah, makes sense. Thanks, Michelle. So you have that flexibility with the subscription setup system here. Now, again, we've got that that will appear on the customer's shopping cart, and everything else is the same after that. So our bump offers, our processes, and all of those things are the same. So let me just set up one so we can see that happen. Affiliates will come back to. Everything else is the same. We need a support email.
Hello there.
Hi there. Who's that?
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Hello.
Who am I speaking to? Is that Mark? Hi, Mark. I've got you.
What you got? I cannot hear you.
Okay, Mark, I can hear you, bud, but if you can't hear me, I'm sorry for that.
Hello?
I'm sorry, man, I couldn't hear you there, so I'll just mute you off unless you can, unless you want to try again. So let me just drop a message into Mark. There we go. Hi, Mark, I could hear you fine. I've just said, obviously Mark couldn't hear me when he unmuted, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've got you.
Yes, I can hear you now. That's right.
I'm sorry, bud. Hey, you got 5 minutes here, or am I interrupting?
No, Mark, ask your question, man, but be quick, because so far it's been a bit disturbing. So ask your question and let's fly into it.
If you want, or I can chat with you on the road if you don't mind, whatever you want to do.
Mark, I'll give you one more chance, bud. Ask your question or I'll mute you.
Okay, good. Coming in loud and clear, it sounds like.
Okay, Mark, I'm sorry, man.
Nice.
Have you got a question for me?
I have Monday off, and
Okay, sorry, guys. Ask a question, great, but don't disturb the rest of the crew if you're not going to be succinct. If you have a question, I'm all ears. All right, but I don't want to hear about lunchtime offers. All right, so Lee asks, could I use several options at once? I have SEO services on a site where customers have the option to buy a one-off service or a monthly service. Could they click on whichever one they wanted? Yeah, of course, Lee. So that's where you could set up your different payment options. So let me just finish this one up and I'll show you what I mean by that to answer your question specifically. So we've got everything set. Let's save and get the URL. So now we've set up a subscription here. Okay, let me grab this URL and I'll show you what we're talking about. All right. Hope you guys don't think I was being too harsh with Mark there. So now I've got the subscription and we can see exactly how we've set it up. Today's payment is $10 and then it's 52 weekly payments of $100 with that first payment due in 7 days. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like for your customer on the form. And to answer Lee's question, could I have multiple options? Yeah, definitely. So that's set up in our products when we come back here. So this can be our SEO services, Lee, as your example. Here we go. So let's get into edit. So we come to the pricing, and this is where we set up that option there, Lee. So pricing options for your product. I can add in a second pricing option. So I could get them to choose, and your option, Lee, was a one-off service or a monthly service. So here's my one-off. It's $500, okay? And again, I will just save that very quickly. Save and get URL. So now I've got two options that are going to appear on the same checkout form. I've got the weekly payment, which I just showed you a few moments ago, and the one-off payment on the same checkout form. And this is what it looks like. So here we go. Do you want the subscription for $100 a week, or do you want the one-off option? Okay, so you can set up unlimited different pricing options on your checkout form, and you have the ability to make one of those preferred. So again, I'll show you what that means. Preferred means that one of them is going to be ticked. on the checkout. So coming back to our pricing, I've got multiple pricing options now, and I can see here in gray, it says make preferred. So if I really want to edge the person towards the weekly subscription, I'm going to tick that one. And let's go and have a look at what happens now on that checkout form. So when I go to that checkout form now, I have one of them ticked. See that one? The subscription was ticked because I said that that should be the preferred option. Lee, does that help? Does that answer the question for you? Yeah. Hopefully that works. So yes, you can have multiple different options. You can have a subscription, a one-time, a monthly, a yearly, $1 now and $10 later, pay your own price, whatever it is that you want it to be, you can have all of those options on the checkout. Okay. And there's obviously some psychology that goes with the way you set up your different forms. And before somebody asks me which is best, my answer is going to be the standard marketer's answers, which is you should test that. All right. Does the monthly convert better than the yearly? Does having a one-time bring in more money? You should test that. That's something that's going to be relevant for your business specifically. Okay. So we've talked about subscriptions. We've talked about one-time payments, multiple different options. We've talked about subscriptions. The last thing I wanted to cover here before we get to refunds and cancellations are affiliates. So Thrivecart has got an affiliate program built in. Dawn, maybe you can help me answer this. I'm not actually 100% sure on it. I think you need to have the pro upgraded version if you're going to have affiliates, which if you didn't pick that up during the one time, you can contact Thrivecart and they will make that available for you. So I think the pro version at checkout, they've got the option. So it's, you guys are hopefully seeing the link on my camera there. It's approved by walt.com/Thrivecart. If you haven't got the option, it's an extra, I think, $190 to go up to the pro version. But the pro version allows you to have, I think, affiliates. Michelle, I haven't talked about coupons. Thank you for the reminder. Allows you to have affiliates and also have custom URLs. So you can have your own URL. So the affiliates program, do you want affiliates to be able to promote this product? Simply, it's a tick. Okay. And then we have our different commission options. So setting up commissions, do we want it to be the same for all pricing? Now, if you've got a one-time price of say $1,000 and then a monthly price of $100 a month, you may want to change your commissions. Maybe they get 30% on the full one-time price and they get a 10% recurring if it's monthly. Completely up to you. You can set a percentage as your commission, or you can set a one-time fee. So I might say, I want different for each pricing, and then I can see price one, price two. So I can set up my commissions for my subscription, and I want that to be a fixed fee of $10. So my first sale might be $50 and then $10 per week thereafter. All right. And I can set, to pay my affiliates automatically or manually. I always choose manually. Commissions are due after, let's say, 30 days. So I have maybe a refund period, and I want to make sure that I cover that refund period before any commissions are released. So now I've got a fixed fee of $50 for that first sale and then $10 a week with that particular subscription. I can then change that for price two. So this is my $500 one-time payment. Maybe I want that to be a flat 25%. Okay. And it's as easy as that. Okay. Sorry. Your commission amount cannot be greater than your product price. 25% percentage. Which one is greater? Recurring commission. Which one was greater? I don't know. There we go. It must have been the 50. Oh, I think they had, oh, that's right. The front end was $10 at the start. That's why I couldn't set it as $50 for the first sale. So $10 is the first week. In that particular setup, the affiliate gets all of that $10 and then they get their $10 a week as we bring in that rebill, or they get a 25% commission. Then once you've said how you want the commissions to be calculated, then we can set up our options. All right. So do we want to auto approve or manually approve? Do we want last cookie or first cookie? Now, this is an affiliate system where we literally say, if you want to track on first cookie, whoever sends the customer to the page the first time will get credited with the sale. That cookie will never get overwritten. Most affiliate programs work on last cookie. So it doesn't matter how many times the customer's seen the page, the person that gets the sale is the one that brings them on the time that they actually transact. All right. That's the way I set my affiliate programs, literally, because it doesn't matter who introduces the product, it matters who gets the sale. So maybe that customer has seen that product 50 different times, but the way you communicated it in your video or your review or your email was the one that triggered them to make it buy it, you get the commission. So that's setting it as last cookie. And how often do you want the cookies to expire? Is it a 7-day, lifetime, 1 year, whatever it may be? Okay. From an affiliate point of view, the longer you can allow the cookies to be active, the happier your affiliates are. So if I bring someone to the site and a year later or 2 years later, if they haven't cleared their cookies, that affiliate still gets a sale, that's a happy affiliate. Okay. Now, where do the customers go after clicking on the affiliate link? Do you want to have a specific page that handles your affiliate sales, or do you want them to go to the main sales page? Do you want this to be hidden or shown? Do we want to have the ability to have affiliates with their own tracking code? Now, this is unique to Thrivecart and very, very handy. If your affiliates are doing their own advertising, if they can track their own sales, they're going to be so much happier, because most of the time on most other platforms that I've worked with, that's not possible. So most of the time, the owner of the product owns the pixel on the page, and therefore no tracking is individualized for each affiliate. With this option, you can. So in other words, each affiliate then can have their own tracking and pixels that get placed on the checkout page, and they can start to see their conversions, which is a really, really cool thing. And then, do you want affiliates to be able to set their own bonuses? And the way that works is, and you've probably seen it in lots of promotions, different affiliates offer different bonuses. Buy through me and get this, buy through me and get that. And if you turn that on, of course, what happens on the fulfillment page is that the customer will also see the ability to get that affiliate's bonus via a different click. So they get their product, congratulations. They also get to claim your bonus, click here, and they can go and get the bonus that was promised by their affiliate. So lots of cool things within the affiliate system. And then once you have your affiliate program turned on, you're literally then able to give your affiliates a link they can apply to promote. Once you approve their promotion, then they get their individual tracking links. They can send you traffic and they get their commissions sent through. All right. And of course, now we have this affiliate options on the front page here. Okay. Get the sign up URL. So I'm sending people to this specific URL to get signed up. All right. Or they can just drop in their own Thrivecart link. So if somebody wanted to promote my product, I can put this on my page. They can then sign up for that product. They get their link, they can promote, they get their commissions. All right. Guys, does that help with affiliate side of things? 2 more things to talk about: refunds, cancellations in one, and coupons. All good? Everybody happy? All right, well, let's go through. So first of all, oh, actually, I should talk about these ones as well. So I'll do that quickly as well. Guys, are you still okay with time? Am I okay? If everybody's still alive, give me a 1 in the chat box. For those of you who are asleep, put up your hands. Everybody still all right? Give me a 1. Everybody good? All right, cool. Let me talk about refunds very quickly. Part of life. Transaction comes in and customer, for some reason, thank you guys, appreciate the feedback. For some reason, customer's not happy and they need to get a refund. So the way to do that is to find the transaction via this customer portal right here. So you're going to either find it based on name or email address, okay? And you can look for all transactions over all time. Let me see if I've got a couple here. So here's somebody that purchased this particular product from me. So let me copy their email address. So now let's walk through what's happened and see if I can show you exactly how this would work. So you get an email or you get a support ticket from ABC person who says, I'm sorry, I'm not happy. I want my refund. Okay, cool. You get their name or you get their email address, come up here and literally just pop it in there. All right. Click on, I usually do all time because it's just easier rather than looking for a specific month. All time, click on search. Okay, cool. Here's that customer's transaction. Now, in this particular case, I can just click on refund and it's easy because this was a one-time payment. Okay, this was a one-time, I know this particular sale. This sale was a one-time payment, okay? And clicking on refund makes it super easy. However, if it's a subscription, there are 2 steps you need to do. First of all, you need to refund the payment if that's what you're doing, refund, okay? When you refund, by the way, you get an option to either give a full refund or a partial refund. So in other words, and I've done this occasionally where, somebody's bought an annual license and after 6 months they've had troubles or whatever. And most of the time our refund period is 30 days. So after 30, anywhere in that 30 days, it's unconditional. You want a refund, you get a refund. But in some cases where they've had an annual product and they're like, I've had, all of these troubles for whatever, and it's somebody that we've been dealing with a long time, we might say, well, look, you've had 6 months access to the product. I'll refund you half of the year that's remaining. So you have the option to do that. Or some people will have like a restocking fee. If you've sold a physical product, they've got to have the shipping come back. You've got to restock it, so you might want to offer a partial refund. That's available too. And then of course you can add any notes that you want to. So refunding a single transaction, super easy. Click, refund, done. Goes back onto their whichever payment platform they used. So if it's PayPal, goes back to their PayPal. If it's credit card, it goes back to their credit card. PayPal refunds appear immediately. Credit card refunds usually take 4 or 5 days to appear back on the customer's account. So refunding a single transaction is easy, but refunding a subscription is in 2 steps. The first step, of course, is the refund. The second step is you also need to cancel the subscription itself. Otherwise, that customer who's just asked for a refund is going to get rebilled in another month or another year, and they're going to be super unhappy. So if it's a subscription, if it's a transaction that rebills on a regular basis, make sure that you A, refund, and B, cancel the transaction as well, cancel the subscription. You need to do both steps, okay? Guys, is that clear? One-time sales, refund, easy. Subscriptions, refund and cancel. Everybody good? You can also, I'm not sure if this particular account has got any subscriptions. I think this is all one-time sales, but let's have a look. Let's see. I'm looking for subscriptions. One-time payment, one-time payment, one-time payment, one-time payment. I think this particular account is all one-time payments. Here it is. One of the other accounts has got the subscriptions. Let's see. I might jump in with that. Just so I can show you. Okay. Oh, I should come back to that as well. So if I look for transactions here, and I'm looking for, that's there we go. There we go. Annual payment. There we go. So this is an annual payment. This is a subscription, and you can see that this is something that happens on an annual basis. Now I can manage this subscription. I need to cancel the subscription if I'm refunding the customer, and I can also pause. So whatever life happens and somebody says, hey, look, I can't pay this month. Can I stop it, pay next month? You have those options within within a subscription payment as well. All right. So being able to have that flexibility when it comes to the subscriptions, but if you're being asked to refund a subscription payment, also cancel the rebill. Okay. Just to cover that off. So let me close that off. We may as well come to this area. Okay. So we've talked about cancellations and refunds. Let me talk about upsells, downsells, and A/B split tests. So upsells, very self-explanatory, but if they buy one product, they get shown the next product as part of a funnel. A downsell is if they say no to whatever they've been recommended. So let's say we've bought, in our example, PR Rage, our software program. Our upsell is our content program. So as soon as the transaction goes through, the next page they see is another product. And what we do is we literally just create that upsell right here. In the same way, we create a new product, we create a new payment button, we create all of the pricing and all of the options and what happens. So we create that upsell as a separate product. Downsell's the same, okay? So we can have then we're building a funnel. If they buy this, they get shown this. If they say no, that's called a downsell. So for example, you might offer in our case, buy PRH, showing the content option, 12 months access for $197. No, I'm not interested. They click on the no. You might then show them a downsell. Would you like to give it a trial for a week for $1? Oh, okay, sure. I'll try it out for $1. And then it rebuilds at 197. All right. So an upsell is what's shown immediately after a transaction. A downsell is what's shown if they say no. Okay. And you can set both of those things up here. And then you're literally just building your flow of transactions. What do they get shown at what point? The next one there is A/B split tests. So this is, do you remember I said you should test that, right? Does it convert better with a one-time? Does it convert better with a monthly? You can have a split test set up so that a different checkout form, a different payment option, a different payment stagger, whether it's a split pay or a lifetime, you can test which one is shown. When somebody clicks on that payment link, they get shown different checkout forms depending on how you set this up, right? So this is not setting up different products, so to speak. This is all under one product with one button. But when somebody clicks on that button to pay, they're showing different checkout forms. This one has the split pay. This one has the monthly option. Which one converts better? Let's test it out and see if we can get some statistics here, because that'll give us more money in the long run if we know which one is the better converter. All right. So A/B split tests allow you to set up multiple checkout views based on different pricing options, however you want to set that up. And the last step there is coupons. Creating coupons, nice and easy. So we give it a link. So this is the Nix setup fee coupon. All right. This is just to identify it to you. Then the coupon code. This is what a customer types in. So the coupon code is going to be no setup. That's what the customer has to type in. I can turn that coupon on and off. And do I want it to be a fixed price? For example, get $100 off your sale. Do I want it to be a discount, 25% off? And if it's a discount, do I want that to also apply to future rebuilds? So in other words, we get 20% off this month and then every month, or 20% off your first month and then every month is at the normal pricing. Okay. Or am I offering free shipping if I'm shipping physical goods? So different options there. I can set up the discount. I can set up the code. Next is the usage. The coupon, I can turn it on a specific date, or it's available now. This coupon is available forever or up until Tuesday next week. Okay. This coupon will auto apply to unaffiliate. This is an important one. And what this means is I can set up a specific coupon that's only related to one affiliate. So I give that particular affiliate a very specific coupon. And if that coupon gets let out into the wild, all right, any sales that come through with that coupon are still going to be tracked back to that affiliate. Okay. So that's an interesting option, that you can have one coupon applied to a specific affiliate. And then do I want it to have a specific use number? So there are only 10 coupons available, for example. I can set that up here as well. Okay. Then which products does this coupon apply to? Do I want it to be all products or only a few of them? Okay. So I can set up that a particular coupon might be across my whole range of products or only on one particular product. Okay. And then again, what happens based on that coupon, I can add them with a tag. So for example, if they use X coupon, they get tagged in my autoresponder. Lots of different options there. So coupons allow you to have, again, a whole bunch of flexibility with the way that you set that up. Alrighty. So we've talked about setting up products, one-time payments, subscriptions, editing the checkout form, linking it to your autoresponder, payment profiles, coupons, upsells, downsells. We've looked for transactions, refunds, cancellations, affiliates we've talked about. JV partners work pretty much the same as affiliates, except it's across the board. A JV partner, you can have someone that gets paid a percentage of transaction across all sales. So for example, I might set up a 10% payment to an affiliate manager, and then they go out and recruit 100 affiliates and they get 10% of everybody's sales. That's set up in the JV partners area. And guys, that pretty much covers the whole Thrivecart system. Is there anybody that has any questions about that? Anything that we'd like to cover off that might be specific to you? Feel free to reply on any of the emails I've sent if you If you want to do that, let me drop this off and come back to chatting to you face to face. Everybody good? Is there anything that you'd like me to cover specifically before we finish up? Everybody okay? All right. So last little bit, why I love Thrivecart. Really, it's quick and easy to set up buy links and subscriptions. Like I said, you saw me do it in 2.5 minutes with an explanation. I can manage all my payments in one dashboard. So I love the fact that I can have different Stripe accounts, different PayPal accounts, different products go into different businesses. Really, really, really cool in that way. I love it. That one-time lifetime offer, which again, that link's on the screen if you're on the training and haven't picked it up as yet. That lifetime offer is simply stunning. Being able to pay, I think it's what, $495 or add an extra $190 if you want to get the pro version as well. And you pay no transaction fees. Again, if you've done any kind of volume online or you're planning to, if you make $1,000 sale and you have to pay 5%, then that's money that should be in your pocket. $50 from every transaction doesn't take many of those $1,000 transactions to completely pay for that lifetime offer, right? So that's why I think it's amazing. Douglas will have the replay up and out to everybody shortly. Do I have an offer code for the upgrade to Pro? No, I think just jump in and go through the upgrade process itself, Dale. You might want to contact Josh or the team at Thrivecart if there's a special code that you need, but go through. Yep, cool. So the reporting is terrific. I love the fact that I can run a report on live subscriptions so I can see what's coming next month, like what's my active subscription count, what's my total sales, what's my sales of a particular product. The reporting's terrific and the tracking's amazing. Being able to actually create individual tracking links per product is something that I find really cool. So in other words, and that's actually something I didn't show, but when you're setting up the product, you can set up a tracking link. So I can have the same buy link with ? Equals Facebook, ? Equals Google, ? Equals YouTube, for example. And then I can see where the sales are coming from. So I have a different link for the different platforms, but one payment checkout form, which is really cool. Michael asks, is it in the sales funnel, the pro discount? Yeah, it is. So when you pick it up, approvedbywalt.com/Thrivecart, you'll get that option. It's a bump offer, like we talked about on the training. You get to bump up to the pro version for $190. And my last reason why I love it, it's just simple and easy. It's an amazing program. The team behind it are incredible, and nothing but 5-star reviews for Thrivecart. All right, guys, that is me. I'm done. Thank you for spending a couple of hours on, for me, what is a Saturday morning. Hopefully it's been helpful for you. If there's any last questions, fire them away. If there's anything that you'd like to cover. Michelle, you're welcome. Michael, you're welcome. Great to see you guys. Thank you again for joining me. Hopefully it's been useful. Again, anything that you're doing online revolves around taking digital payments. You need a way of getting money into your account quickly, and Thrivecart makes that easy. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Clay, I'm glad you were able to join us. I know you had, I saw multiple emails from you, Clay. Is the training, make sure I can get the training. So I'm glad that you are able to join us for it. Again, guys, thanks very much. Appreciate it. The opportunity to spend the time with you. If you need anything, hit me up on an email. Sometimes it takes me a little while to respond to those, but support tickets will always get me as well. I do read all my emails. So if you do have a question, just ask. And again, thanks for the trust if you've bought through my recommendation. If you haven't yet, approvedbywalt.com/Thrivecart. Yes, I get an affiliate commission. That's what enables me to do these trainings. So hopefully that's okay for you. If not, just go to thrivecart.com. You can still pick it up. So hopefully that's cool. And see you on our next session. Thanks, guys.